You did everything right. You built the life you said you wanted. So why does it feel like it's slowly draining you? There's a quiet discomfort that no one really prepares you for. It happens when you realize the life you built no longer fits. You can't point to anything that's obviously wrong. In fact, from the outside, it might even look like everything is in place. You have the career you worked for, the relationships you poured into, the habits you once fought to build. You're doing the things you once said you wanted. And yet, something feels off. Not broken, just disconnected. This feeling is subtle at first. Maybe you start dreading the work you used to enjoy. Maybe your routines feel more like maintenance than meaning. Maybe the conversations that used to excite you now leave you drained. It's confusing because nothing has gone wrong. And so the mind rushes in to compensate by telling itself, be grateful. Don't complain. Maybe you're just tired. Maybe you're the problem. But here's the truth. You've simply outgrown a version of yourself, and the life that version built can no longer nourish who you're becoming. This is not failure, it's evolution. Indian philosophy has a word for this transitional moment, Yuga Sandhi, the junction between cycles. In the Gita, Krishna doesn't ask Arjuna to return to his past version. He calls him forward. He invites him into a new dharma, but first he lets him break. Arjuna drops his bow. He admits, I can't do this anymore. That moment isn't weakness, it's clarity. We often think of growth as building more, doing more, expanding outward. But real growth is also letting go. And sometimes the letting go isn't dramatic. It's subtle, it's quiet, it's internal. You wake up one day and realize the ladder you've been climbing is leaning against a wall you no longer care about. And now, the bravest thing you can do is step back down. Here's the hard part. Once you realize you've outgrown something, there's a gap. The old self has loosened, but the new self hasn't fully arrived. It's tempting to rush, to rebuild instantly, to grasp onto something, anything, that gives you the illusion of control. But wisdom lives in the pause. In Sanskrit, they call this tapasya, the inner fire of restraint, reflection, and renewal. It's the space between identities where something deeper is cooking, even if you can't name it yet. So, what do you do now? First, don't invalidate the discomfort. Just because your life looks fine doesn't mean your soul feels aligned. Give yourself permission to outgrow things, even the good ones, especially the good ones. Sometimes the hardest lives to walk away from are the ones that are almost right. Second, notice where your energy leaks. What parts of your life feel heavy, not because they're difficult, but because they're done? Where do you feel yourself contracting when you show up? Those are signals, not of failure, but of transition. Listen to them gently, without trying to fix them too fast. Third, ask, what's calling you now? Not in a big dramatic way. Sometimes it's just a nudge, a curiosity, a part of you that wants to move differently, speak differently, live differently. You don't need a 5-year plan. You just need to notice what feels alive again. Dharma often begins as a whisper before it becomes a path. And finally, remember that your identity is not your resume. Who you've been doesn't limit who you can become. Krishna never tells Arjuna to return to being who he used to be. He calls him forward. He reminds him, your dharma is dynamic. It evolves as you evolve. And your courage to leave behind the old is what allows the new to rise. This isn't a breakdown. It's a recalibration. You're not failing. You're unfolding. And yes, it's disorienting. but it's also sacred. Because what comes next isn't just more of the same. What comes next is the version of you that can only emerge once you stop clinging to what no longer fits. You've outgrown the life you built. Now it's time to build the one that fits who you've become. And that's where real Dharma begins.